What's up, y'all? We're back for a full weekend of racing here on the Go at CeeLo. We appreciate you being here so much, and we're looking forward to a great qualifying practice today and qualifying, and then we'll take about an hour break, and then we'll be bringing you the full Xfinity series as well, and we're hoping to have a huge crowd in here again as well. So thank you guys so much for being here on the Go at CeeLo. It's been a busy week for me and a weekend as well. So I hope you guys have a good time. I want to say happy birthday to my lovely wife, Spain. Happy birthday. Can't wait to have fun with you tonight. So let's get to live the audio already. They're starting already for the practice. We're Group A, Group B, and then you know how it works. But appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button for us as you're coming in. And let's get to the live audio already.
This nighttime racing.
Or
whatever,
sorry, y'all.
for things that happen that may or may not be, let's say, caution worthy.
Well, you're going to have some long green flag runs, and I think you have to be able to discipline yourself and not make mistakes. And this is a racetrack where you want to grind away on the bottom of the racetrack or up a groove and really discipline yourself to lose the least amount of time possible on the racetrack during that fall-off period, get through traffic good. And if you make one of those mistakes like you did at COTA, you're going to be in trouble as much here as you were there.
Very hard to get up through the traffic here. Hard to pass, but doable, right? And also a little bit of strategy. Maybe somebody short pits, gets a little bit off cycle. If something happens and a caution comes out that we weren't expecting, might be the leading ticket.
All right, we'll have cars on track for Group A practice here at Richmond when we come back.
All right, commercial break here. Appreciate you coming in, guys. Happy early Saturday morning. I don't think we've ever done it this early before. So we got a full day ahead of us. We got today, we got the NASCAR Cup qualifying, practice and qualifying here for you guys. And then we'll be bringing in about an hour break. We'll be bringing you to the NASCAR Xfinity Series race today as well, the Toyota Care 250. And then we'll be taking the rest of the day off. And then tomorrow we'll be bringing you Easter Sunday. For everybody that's celebrated Easter Sunday, we appreciate you being here. We're going to be bringing you the live coverage of the Toyota Owners 400. And that'll be Easter Sunday under the lights here at I'm about to say Bristol, about Richmond, Virginia. So looking forward to having these races with you guys. Last week when we got to cover the COTA race, we missed practice and qualifying, the truck race, and the Xfinity race, but we had a good time in East Tennessee. But always a good time for a little break every once in a while, but we had fun with you last Sunday. We've had a great time this week with college basketball. We've had a great time with Atlanta Braves baseball as well. We had that yesterday. We had basketball on Thursday. Great basketball stream last night as well. So keep hitting that like button for us as you're coming in and see if we can get knocked out 100 likes during this qualifying stream. I know it's early. I know half the country is probably still sleeping, but appreciate y'all hanging out here on the channel with us this morning as we're waiting for practice and qualifying. Group A, Stenhouse Jr., Haley, Zane Smith, and Chase Elliott. Looks like they're the only ones that are going to go right now for practice. So we'll see what happens with the rest of that. I don't know how that'll determine. Normally everybody runs, but no bots. That's good. That's good. History King says, was you shocked the Vols made it to the late 8? Yeah, I'm shocked, man. I'm so happy, though, that the 1 o'clock game tomorrow will be doing that for Tennessee and Purdue. So, we'll see who wins here. Who do you think is going to get the poll, guys? I had a poll question in our community section, and someone was like, you only picked Toyotas. Well, Toyota's doing a heck of a job, so let's see what happens.
NASCAR Xfinity Series for their race and for the Cup Series here for practice and qualifying. The modifieds ran last night. Boy, that was a thriller. A lot of lead changes, a lot of passing. More on that later. First, down Regan Smith.
Mike Martin Truex Jr. knows a thing or two about getting around Richmond, 3-time winner at this racetrack. 20 minutes, a short practice. You're in Group B. What do you got to take away from that practice for Sunday or for Sunday's race?
Yeah, it's tough here. You know, there's not a lot of rubber on the track yet, so it's going to change a lot. Now we're racing at night again, so really just all about a feel you're looking for in your car, and then, you know, what can it do in the long runs.
That's who I'm picking.
Thanks, Martin.
Guys, Martin Truex for the win.
What's that feel you're looking for in your car, Kevin?
Well, with this particular car, you want to be able to get in the corner as hard and aggressive as possible. So a lot of that brake split in the pads like we saw at the first race of the year at the Clash. So you want to be able to get into turn one right here over that bump and be able to drive the car down all the way to the yellow line on the brakes, because it's going to go up the racetrack. You heard him downshift right there in the middle of the corner. Actually, one gear too many. So into fourth gear down into turn 3, and it's going to have that natural up the racetrack diamond in the middle of it, but you want to be able to get your car to the yellow line on the entry and exit of the corner up to 5th gear. Straight line braking all the way down to that yellow line, right back to the throttle, just a little bit of throttle. You hear the car hitting the ground.
Yeah, the unique style of this racetrack with the dogleg on the front straightaway, straight on the back, obviously opens up that entry you're talking about, turn 1.
That's right.
But it closes the entry on turn 3. Very challenging to connect both ends of this racetrack.
Yeah, and I want my car to be a little bit tight through the 2 and through the center of the corner here. You want it to rotate as good as possible, but the drive just gets so bad off the corner and you start to get loose in. But you got to get in the corner in these cars under braking. If you're loose in under braking, you're in big trouble here.
I always looked at this racetrack at that 5/8 and 3/4 mark. That was the point. Rolling back to the gas, the car needs to be pointed. You need to be able to have that straight drive off. As the tires wear off, if you're not straight and have that left rear down, you're in big trouble.
As we look at Ryan Blaney, it's interesting how shifting has just become part of the norm these days with these cars, with the sequential gearbox, with the gear rule that's in place from NASCAR. It's like now you go almost everywhere expecting you're going to have to shift, 4 times a lap.
There was actually some talk about trying to figure out how to eliminate that somewhere, and I think this racetrack could be a good place to do it.
The Green Bay Packers dropping the 22.
You miss the corner at least a little bit, you can downshift, the car rotates, it reacts to the throttle reaction up off. It fixes a lot of problems if you're tight, especially, right? So this track, if you could, if there was ever a track that would help, I think it would be this. Keep that thing locked in. If that thing
16
won't roll
minutes for practice
and you're
here,
tight already, now you can't get back to the gas. Now it's sluggish because you don't have the affordability of being able to downshift. Might create some passing opportunities for cars.
Yeah, and it's just a racetrack you have to be very disciplined to be able to be good at it. These lap times obviously are relevant today with qualifying, but really the long runs are what's going to be relevant to win this race. So it's a very disciplined racetrack.
Chris Buescher used to say, "I hate this place." Winning fixes a lot of that, and it did for him.
Yeah, Chris Buescher, you know, he's really a hidden gem. And the reason that I say that is he is a guy that is going to grind away and finish races. You're going to not notice him, and he's going to finish 8th like he did last week.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He does the little things right, but he's really good at making his race car better throughout the day by communicating through his crew.
Dependable.
Buescher up to 3rd on the speed chart, which is led by Kyle Larson. Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, I've been watching Kyle Larson in this 5 car, and he's been trying different things with the shifting that Kevin and Clint were just talking about. He's pretty much been staying in 5th gear through 1 and 2. He's been downshifting in 3 and 4. I know going back and watching one of the races last year on Into a Run, a lot of drivers stopped shifting because it was enhancing the spinning of the tires on the exit of the corner that you guys were talking about.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be my strategy. I would downshift into 1 and
be flopped. I agree.
Yeah, I would downshift into 1 just to get the car rotated so you could run it tighter, to be able to let the downshift do the work and not be so hard on that right front tire through the 1. And as I tell I tell Keelan all the time, there's the throttle's on a hinge for a reason. If it's spinning the tires, don't hit the throttle as hard.
I'm wondering if these teams have studied, don't know if they've been able to practice it, whether there's a difference in fuel flow, fuel mileage, shifting versus not shifting. Does not shifting save gas, I wonder?
Yeah, and I don't know that...
Or does it matter here?
Well, I think if you get into that strategy where you want to be in fifth all the way around and back the pace down...
Tire wear's the determining factor at this racetrack. It's not fuel.
Yeah, and I just... I want to run my car tighter than probably most, just to be able to have it hang on longer and have that forward drive be better. And I think that's a tricky process at this racetrack, to be able to get that balance right under braking. How much do you want it to turn through the center of the corner, but how much does it fall off through that run to be able to keep that entry and exit tight enough to keep driving forward?
I heard you say braking, and you saw right there riding with him, it was like 42% getting into the corners. Braking was always a big part of my success here. In other words, when I ran good, when I ran up front, you use minimal braking. If your car's tight in the center, struggling to turn, you can't let off the brake. You need to be able to run off that brake and the car do the work for you. Continue to turn around the corner. If it doesn't do that, you're in for a long day.
And you'll see some of these guys that are down on the list taking off on the fast lap, but that can be a little bit deceiving. I think as you run, you don't want to be last, but I think as you run, there's a balance between takeoff speed and fall off speed. So the lap chart here can be somewhat deceiving. The lap time chart.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Stenhouse has run 16 laps. 15 of the 18 cars on track fired off, got on track, and have just run laps. 16 of them, 17 for most of these drivers, including Josh Berry.
And Bowman, look at Bowman. Great run for him last week.
I think some of these guys probably waited to take off a little bit, because really you want the right rubber to be on the racetrack, and that will hurt your fast lap as well. But it gives you a better read on the car, and that's really all you're looking for right here, is a proper read on the car, balance wise.
12 minutes to go in Group A practice at Richmond. Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher set the pace.
All right, Kyle Larson, the fastest here. Chevrolet. Joey Logano, the fastest Ford. And John Hunter Nemechek, the fastest Toyota. Let's zoom up down here a little bit there. There's 20 cars running. 20 cars racing. Carson Hocevar and Chase Elliott haven't run a lap yet. Chastain, Chase Briscoe, Suarez. With our ticker there, we can only show you the top 15 there. So we'll have to maybe make it smaller or something. Let's see if we can make it smaller. We make it smaller. That's better. All right. Hope everybody's doing well today. Happy Saturday morning. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. If you are off today, we appreciate you being here. And if you are at work and listening, appreciate you hanging out with us too. But my name is CeeLo. On the Go at CeeLo is our channel. If you are new to us, make sure you hit the subscribe for all NASCAR content. We'll be bringing you live NASCAR content throughout the year. We've been doing it every day, every week since the Daytona 500. We haven't missed a NASCAR Cup Series yet. Last week we missed the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series and the qualifying for the NASCAR Cup. I was out of town, but I'll try to do as many races as I can. But we also released a NASCAR paint scheme and weekend preview here for Richmond Raceway. I also give you my picks, who I like the most on our cars, and who I think is going to win. So make sure you check that out. Give us your comments in the comments below who your favorite paint scheme is this weekend. Not really any outstanding paint schemes, but it should be fun. It should be fun here. So thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us. And commercial break, we'll be bringing the audio back here in just a second. But make sure you're going over and giving that a like as well. Make sure you're liking this stream and subscribing to the channel, y'all. We would love for you to help us out on the channel. So, and this is Group A, and I've now moved. I got a over there. I got a Group A, so you guys know who's what group now. So that's fun. Group A. This is Group A, and this will make out the outside lane. So we're gonna, when they do qualify, the first 5 will move on to round 2, but 6 through whatever 19 will move to the outside lane of the Richmond race this weekend coming up. So short track racing, you know what happened last time we had short track racing? The tires were horrible, but we'll see what happens here. Suarez 99 car is awesome. Yeah, it is nice looking. I did say that as well. One of my favorites this weekend. They know how to do some paint jobs on their cars for sure. They've been pretty good these last couple weeks with the Trackhouse with the Busch car, and then Suarez with the Quaker State 99. It looks really good. So thanks guys for hanging out with us this morning. I know it's early, but got to get it in, right? On the East Coast over here. But we're going back to it here in just a second. Back to the audio, the Fox Sports 1 broadcast. Next week starts our first week of Fox Sports 1 coverage all weekend long. So that should help the channel dramatically, as people won't be able to watch it on cable. They'll be wanting to look for us. So back at it. Here we go.
The wait is over. Pro football is back on Fox. The UFL kicks off today with the USFL champ Birmingham taking on the XFL champ Arlington. And then kickoff weekend will continue tomorrow over on ESPN.
I have a Suarez emoji, guys. Karen, I have a Suarez emoji now. We got enough emojis
here
now.
At Richmond,
we have
Alex
more.
Bowman, 5th quickest, second among the Chevrolets to his Hemric teammate Kyle Larson. And he tops the best 15 and best 20 lap averages.
You said it during the break, Clint, but Bowman has definitely picked up the pace the last 2 or 3 weeks.
For sure has caught his teammates, right? I mean, there was a void there. There's no question that 2 of those 4 cars were a standout, but Alex Bowman has picked the pace up in a big way with the 48 car. A lot more solid, a lot more consistent week in and week out.
He's going to win one soon, y'all. He's finally
So 11 cars have run 30 consecutive laps here to start this session. And the powerhouse teams this season, undeniably, Hemric Motorsports versus Joe Gibbs Racing. They've dominated both the win column, the top 5s, and the top 10s. Look at the laps led between these 2 4-car teams.
What happened to the Fords? Where the heck's going on
Big
with
difference in that category.
Well, Gibbs on the shorter tracks with more laps. You know, there's only 200 laps at Daytona, so.
Well, that was definitely a story, you know, of the tale that the first super speedways, you know, those Hendrick cars dominated, and then all of a sudden, oh, where these Gibbs boys come from? It was their turn, and then obviously last weekend, capturing
so
back
about
and
6 minutes left in Group A, and then Group B will go for a little bit.
Once we got past Daytona, Atlanta, and I think when they go back to Daytona and Atlanta, probably Talladega, probably be a little bit better with the Toyotas, figuring out their new body and everything that they've got going on. But on the short tracks and places that we've been lately, they've been on point.
So that leaves Ford and particularly Penske Racing, where right now Ryan Blaney tops the consecutive 30-lap run.
Yeah, there's no question, Mike, to your point. There's no question at all that Ryan Blaney
What's up, Termigator? What's going on,
carrying
man?
the flag
Welcome
over
in.
there
Happy
at
Sunday,
Ford.
Saturday morning.
Struggling with their Ford Mustangs across the board.
Yeah, they're running 250 laps today.
And just can't get a good pinpoint on it. New body for them with the Mustang, and so far, still have work to do.
Yeah, and if Joey Logano doesn't run in the top 5 here, you know you're
wrong.
off. Yeah, I mean, Joey Logano is very good at Richmond. He's very good really anywhere you go, but he's always been very good here. And if they don't run in the top 5 this week and Chris Buescher doesn't run in the top 5 or finish in the top 5, then you're really worried. You're already worried, but you're really worried if Joey Logano is not a solid contender this weekend.
John Hunter Nemechek jumped right out and found himself a spot high up on the speed chart. He's the fastest of the 2 Toyotas in this session. Ty Gibbs being the other.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you see John Hunter up a groove right here. You either want to put the left sides on those hash marks or the right sides on that first hash mark and go around the corner. I always found it interesting into turn 1 as we're heading into turn 3 right now. I still think you want to grind away on that yellow line down there, entry and exit. But in turn 1, as you'll notice as we go into the corner here, Clint, there's some patch marks on the cracks, and those things have pretty good grip. If you can just catch them just right, it'll help you turn to the center.
I hear you say that, and you're spot on with it. I mean, the success is won down on the bottom of the racetrack on the yellow line, but starting to see a lot of cars moving up and flirting with that, just like you said, some of those cracks, those opportunities maybe to create some different grip on the seams that they've found up in the higher lane, and both ends.
Only thing I would caution my guys on is not go too high. Do not go above that first hash mark in this practice, because I think that's a false read. Because the racetrack is cleaner up there, and it's going to be faster for a little bit, but it's going to give you a false read on your car if you get up there too high.
Now, Zane Smith's been out since the start of this session, and the last lap he ran was within a second of his best lap, whereas most cars are seeing a 1 1/4 to 1.5 second fall off. So either that means he has real good pace late in the session, or his fastest lap just wasn't stellar.
Yeah, and like I said, that board can be deceiving. You have to do your own thing here, and you have to look at the long run graphs and say, I'm good from lap 10 to 25 and feel good about making those adjustments on your car. I'm not necessarily worried about the speed. I want to qualify good, but I'm not worried about the speed for the first 2 or 3 laps for sure right now.
3 minutes left in this group here.
Austin's
3 minutes left, y'all.
Didn't like the handling on his race car, made some adjustments.
Dallas.
Going to come back
Pedal
out
to
and
the
try it
metal.
again. Needs a good run here. This is a pretty good track for Austin Dillon, so maybe we might see a good turnaround for the 3 bunch.
42 laps on the board for more than half the drivers in this session, 10 of them that have just gone out to make one long run. Justin Haley, 10th quickest on the 3rd lap of this run. He's also
Justin
run
Haley
42 laps.
What a good run, but then ended up getting
11
disqualified.
drivers that have done so, and his fall off is pretty average, about 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, and one interesting thing is you see Justin has chosen to run that first hash mark on both ends right there. And as you go through 1 and 2 down here, it's a very interesting corner on the exit because the banking wraps around the corner, but as you get to the straightaway flattens out, and the straightaway actually has a little crown in it as you come up off the corner right there. So you don't want to be turning as you come up off of turn 2. You want to drive the thing from this 3/4 mark in the corner straight to that outside fence in order to try to get those back tires to hook up as good as possible to get that forward drive.
I'm seeing more cars higher than I've seen in a long time at Richmond. I don't know, maybe those modifieds that ran last night cleaned that track up. They ran higher than we typically see cars around Richmond. You can see the rubber on the racetrack.
But
it's
Chase
certainly
and Carson
higher
Hocevar did not,
at this point in the weekend than I've seen in a long time.
And I'm yelling at you, Clint, right now if I'm the crew chief on the radio. Don't fool yourself with that clean racetrack up there. Stay below that clean racetrack. But they're definitely moving the groove up the racetrack for sure.
Daniel Hemric, 14th in this session. He's run 32 laps. And drivers coming down pit road to check pit road speed and maybe get some adjustment.
Yeah, this is a tricky pit road. You see the curves at the beginning and end of the straightaway, and you can run a couple miles an hour faster, so you have to up your pit road speed
and bring it back down.
Bring it back down on the straightaways. So lots of room for error here. The other thing that's tricky is the pit road entry line and the orange box a little back right there. And you see the box right there. Yep, that orange box right there is where you have to start your pit road speed. So you have a normal braking on the entry, but it's hard to pick up that box in the car.
No Chase, John. What's up, dude?
Lots of drama, lots of penalties. Yikes.
All 4 have to be below that orange box. We see it time and time again. Very hard to come at speed on old tires and judge your distance right there. Overstepped the bounds several times.
Used to be an orange cone there, but we killed
It's
the
my
orange
pick,
cone.
D.
Yeah. Well,
19.
the cone was good up until it wound up on the racetrack.
Right.
Nothing.
Which I didn't mind.
Nothing.
You know
I
why?
know what we're gonna do.
It was a caution.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a busy day on Easter
You get
Sunday.
tired, don't you?
All right, Kyle Larson wins Group A practice.
Well, Kyle Larson leads Group A practice. It's over with. Caution on the track. Caution is on the track as we have finished Group A. Group B will be coming out next. Group B. So I'll be changing that here in just a second. Appreciate y'all hanging out on a Saturday morning. Easter weekend. NASCAR's been going since the Daytona 500. They don't get any time off. I don't think they get any time off for a while because they get 2 weeks now. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but during the Olympics, NASCAR's off for 2 weeks straight, so almost 3 weeks before we have racing again coming up on that. So thank you for that subscribe too as well. Jamie, what's going on? She says Larson. Gavin says the 48. I think he's figuring it out, Gavin. I think he is figuring it out. D says happy birthday, Spain. And she said thank you guys. Kenneth Clark, a whole bunch of people have said happy birthday to Spain here in the chat, and that is awful sweet of y'all. Dallas says she can't wait for the Olympics. And then Stupid Roofer, he said that he's been watching the RFK and the Ford project, and he said he's convinced that the Fords are just sandbagging and they're just kind of laying back for later in the season or something. I don't know, but you never know, And then Stu Brewer says RFK, Penske, FRM knows what they have. Those Fords are unstoppable. They're just kind of hanging out. So we are in Group A. Just ended Group B. Will be coming up here just a second, and then we'll get into qualifying if you guys are just joining us for that. So hope everybody's had a great Saturday so far. Hope you're looking forward to a great Easter weekend as well. Tomorrow will be a kind of a busy day for Easter for us. We're going to be doing the Tennessee versus Purdue semifinal to get to the Final Four on Sunday afternoon, and then we'll take a good little break, and then we'll be back for Sunday night NASCAR on the channel where Richmond goes under the lights for the Toyota Owners 400, which we're here qualifying for tonight. So the practice and qualifying is during the day. The race is at night, so that's kind of a little weird. But here we go. Group B now, y'all.
Wow, big rush to either get off pit road or wait and let everybody else get off pit road. Here is Group B out for their practice session. Now in Group A, more than half, 10 of the 18 cars in Group A made
John,
one
thank
run
you for subscribing.
Welcome. 40-plus laps, as many as
so it's not
49,
change,
Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, 49 laps each. We'll see what happens here in Group B as they come off pit road and start to get up to speed.
Well, all these guys know from their teammates and whoever they've been watching that whole first practice. They know what the pace is. They know what the fall off is. And now
I wish
they
they
know
would
what they're chasing.
separate them, but
So as they get up to speed, let me finish the story on the modified race last night. Great race, great competition in NASCAR's only open-wheel division. The three guys that have traded the championships back and forth the last few years, Ron Silk, Justin Bonsignor, Doug Coby. They all batted for the lead throughout. Ryan Newman even had a shot at the lead. Bobby Labonte got crashed. And it all came down to one of those, well, I think there's something on the track kind of cautions. And
William Byron's already faster than Ross Chastain.
Darn it. If Bonsignor and Silk don't go side by side the whole last 2 laps, wheel to wheel, real thrilling 150-lap race.
CeeLo's giving Spain a special croc prance.
I just tuned in, tried to find it on Flow, and finally got it on, got it sat down on the couch, comfortable. It was a victory lane shot.
Oh, jeez.
I missed it.
I know.
Well,
they don't
was all on social media. It was very good, though. Cool race
Christopher
car.
Bell coming off an eventful race at COTA where arguably he had the fastest car and was closing on William Byron as it came down to the closing laps, but the final pit stop, second of 2, made all the difference for Christopher Bell, relegating him to second place.
That's why I picked
he
him.
and Kyle Busch, though, got into it on track at COTA.
Hopefully we can pick back up
And
a good winning
later,
way here.
this was what happened after the race.
What do you think about Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell at the end of the race last week?
Well,
I love that he tried to give him the old, Should we shake hands?
Yeah.
He didn't get it.
Here's the incident we're talking about.
Yeah, and you see the left front tire locked up on Bell's car there. He was trying to just fill the hole. Kyle was super high, and he had planned on crossing back over to get a good run up off the corner, and Bell was there. So
then later in the week, here's Christopher Bell.
I made contact with him, and he spun out. So I understand why he's upset. And, we had a conversation on Monday, and I thought that it went well. I called him, and he didn't answer. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. And he called me back. So that was really cool that, he had the respect towards me to call me back, and he didn't have to do that. So, it's behind us, and whatever happens moving forward, it is what it is.
Always a tough scenario in how to handle those things when you spin somebody out, Clint.
Moving up there,
if that is the case, it's been a few times that Kyle has been spun out. A lot of times it's just harder to pass when you're trying to gain a position, or you get less slack and wind up knocked up the racetrack. So it just depends on how Kyle wants to handle it at this point.
I like the first version better after the interview.
Yeah.
Let's get to Regan Smith.
Like Chris Buescher out of his race car right now, third quickest, ran 47 laps in that first session. How important is that to know exactly where your race car is going to go?
Yeah, that was our strength last time here, and want to make sure we still got that. So really was hoping we'd fire off close enough to be able to run that thing out, and we were. So the team did a fantastic job. Got a good Nexus Top Ford Mustang under us. So I know we got to really dive into the data here and figure out where we're at. I thought it was pretty respectable, but got a couple things feel like we can tweak on and be better yet.
Thanks, Chris.
What he just said right there, in my opinion, it's the hardest part about
knows what he's
the
talking
format
about,
in which
man.
these guys are
Jack.
under, with the short practice sessions and then having to go right to qualifying. And then the fact that you add in that you really can't
McDowell,
come and
moving
pit
on up.
and
Look
make
at
any of those
Suarez.
adjustments. Now they have the only thing they have the tire data, right? You have your tire data, the temperatures, the buildups, all these things, camber readings, and that. We're gonna go out and we're gonna make a couple adjustments. You're gonna qualify, then we're going straight to racing. Not much to change and to move forward with. What the bed that you made is the bed you're lying in.
Well, and that was kind of a compromise between NASCAR and the teams and the drivers. Everybody has a different agenda and what they want. The teams practice. It costs money to practice.
But Michael McDowell looks the fastest.
To have multiple practice sessions before qualifying, that's expensive. You want to do it all in one day because that is cost efficient, trying to save the teams some money.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of it.
Okay.
I'm saying that's the fact. That's the challenge within it. But that's why the entertainment value goes up because of it. If you gave these guys 2 days of practice, that window of opportunity is going to narrow up considerably, and the product is probably going to be stale because of that.
Well, I know this guy probably has William Byron. Last week's winner. I guarantee you he spent some time in the simulator and working through everything during the week. So the time they don't spend here, they spend at the race shop preparing and doing different things in today's NASCAR world in the simulator and all the things that happen during the week.
And then
the car he's about to pass, Ty
right
Dillon,
after that, but the
is back
practice
in the
is
Cup
set
Series,
up
has
for the qualifying.
has a few starts this year. Let's look at William Byron here in the 7th generation NASCAR Cup car that we race today. Wow. They just come out of the box, guns firing for both hands, and put a couple up in the win column early. And
last 3 years,
set. Yes,
yeah. And William Byron.
What's up, Regine?
He's
Welcome
a really,
back.
really hard worker, and I think that work ethic and a lot of the things that happen during the week and the studying and the simulator time. Work ethic matters in the performance of this race car, and I think that's why you see some of these guys shine more consistently than others, just because they work harder.
Heck yeah, they do, and it's all the way across the board. But I don't know. Hey, it's the whole package, the whole organization. I mean, you've got them all hitting on all 8 cylinders all the way through the board. We just talked about it. Bowman, right? His teammate Bowman struggling a little bit. they have figured out whatever these two cars are doing and are slowly but steadily catching me.
Well, you know as well as I do, when you have good teammates and you can see their process and the things that are happening and the things that they're running in their car and what's working for them, you can start to try some of those things and incorporate them into your car. Bowman got going slower than
You're only as good as the people around
23.
you.
Yeah, that's right.
12 minutes to go. Michael McDowell fastest in Group B over Brad Keselowski. Eric Jones, William Byron, and Christopher Bell.
All right, practice keeps on going. Just a little bit left in practice here. Hope everybody's had a great Saturday morning so far. Thanks for the ones that have tuned in so far. Make sure you're hitting that like button for us. I don't even know where we're at on our likes. See if we can get to 100 likes on a qualifying stream, as we always do. We got a lot of work to do, though, so 29 likes. Let's keep it going. If you guys can hit the like button for us so we can get 100 likes here on a qualifying stream like we have been, blowing it out of the water. It's ridiculous, but thank you guys so much. And keep on hitting that subscribe, too, if you guys want a NASCAR NASCAR channel to go to when you can't watch the races on the TV, or when you want to just listen to it if you can't watch it or listen anywhere else. You can watch it here on the go at CeeLo. We appreciate your hard work coming in here, and thank you so much, guys. So next goal is 20K. That's right, man. We're trying to go that 20K. But appreciate everybody. McDowell moving on up, as these are grouped in separate things. So this is Group B. As you can see, a little less light laps here. Keselowski and McDowell at 20 laps total. Moving up through the field here. But Group A, Group B, though, that's how they'll qualify, Group A and Group B. And then the top 5 from both will move on to the second round, and then we'll get our pole winner. And then about an hour or so after that, we'll be bringing you the Xfinity Series race. And we'll change everything up. Well, thank you, Pie Wolf. Thank you so much, Pie Wolf, for that subscribe. Thank you so much for that. But and then during the Xfinity Series, we'll be able to show a couple in-car cams. They normally don't show many, but maybe about 3 or 4. But at least we'll have some in-car cams to watch. We'll be doing our NASCAR reactions, and we'll have the live leaderboard and the audio for you from the FS1 broadcast. And that'll be it. So looking forward to a nice little race here today. Number 30, thumbs up. Thank you so much. Keep hitting that like button, y'all. 100 and some over here already. We can get to 100 likes pretty quick if you haven't hit the like button for us. The like button, the subscribers, everything, you watching helps the channel greatly. It's YouTube to see, oh, this guy's got a lot going on. We'll push him as more, and that's how we get more new friends in here. So Traveling Seagull, thank you so much for that subscribe as well. Appreciate that, guys. We also have memberships for you guys. 99 cents gets you an emoji membership. You can use all the emojis that are available for members today. Uh-oh. What happened? I do not certainly wouldn't be a spammer if I'm a native-born boomer sooner. Gene. All right, so here's all your emojis that you guys can use. And we change them for different races, for the Xfinity race, the truck race, the NASCAR Cup Series. If we're doing basketball or hockey or whatever, we change the emojis. But those are the ones available for you guys for the members today for the qualifying stream. And then when we get the Xfinity Series, we'll change those up. And these are the colors. The emojis are the colors of what the car is this weekend. Also right here, these are the colors of the cars this weekend as well. So I have all that detailed for you guys. So you guys get to see the paint jobs. We have a paint scheme blog that we released on Friday, so make sure you go check that on our channel. That is a pretty good one too. So back to it. Here we go.
Welcome back to Group B practice, qualifying to follow, then the Xfinity race this afternoon. Here at Richmond Raceway, McDowell, Keselowski, Jones, fastest on the individual laps. And here is Denny Hamlin, 23rd on the overall speed chart for his fastest lap. 8th among the drivers in Group B.
Larson going to lead
Group B
200
is drastically
laps,
different than Group A, and if I had a choice today, I definitely want to be in Group B because I think I'm getting a better indication of where my car is based upon the rubber on the racetrack compared to Group A.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, I was watching him at the beginning of this run, and going back to one of the races last year, Denny was one well into a run that did not
Be right
shift.
back, guys. I'm going to get a drink.
He started
Be right
this
back.
run here, and again, he's run 29 laps. For about the first 11 or 12 laps, he did not shift. Chris Gabehart, his crew chief, came on the radio and said, everybody I'm watching on the data is shifting, and so now, ever since he told him that, Denny downshifts in the fourth, going into one, stays in fourth, grabs high gear coming up off of 4 on the front straightaway.
Yeah, and the reason that they won't shift in the race sometimes down the front straightaway is because the pace gets so slow. You can just run it off the rev chip down the front straightaway, and it'll actually come close to it'll start not hitting the chip on the back straightaway, the rev limiter. So it's definitely depends on pace as to where you shift.
I noticed how light his hands are holding the wheel. It's just not very firm at all with the wheel, just very gingerly holding onto the wheel.
Well, Richmond has always had its hometown racing heroes. It began back with Ray Hendrick, Sonny Hutchins. Always been great drivers from this area, including Denny Hamlin. Let's go into the helmet.
Chesterfield, Virginia. I wanted to be a race car driver when I attended a race at 5 years old at Richmond International Raceway. The moment I smelled the tires and the fuel, the cars went buzzing by, I was hooked from that point on. The treat yourself for me is actually probably a day off playing golf. There's obviously a few accomplishments that I'm still yet to accomplish, but us going back to the Brickyard, that's going to be a big one to try to check off the list. Been close there before, so I'm pretty optimistic about that. And then obviously winning a championship in the end.
Well, he's had quite a career here. 4 wins, 3 poles, 6 stage wins, and look at those laps led. Most among all active drivers.
We had a great conversation in the interview that we did with Denny at COTA. We played the whole version on the podcast this week, and he's just
hoping Busher
I
or
think
someone
he's
else can
underrated
end
as far as his work ethic and the things that he does. I don't think people really understand.
We'll see. Those Toyotas
the amount of time that these guys spend preparing
and the
every
Chevys
week.
are looking good. Larson is panicking. He knows those Fords are coming. Stupid Rupert is the biggest Ford fan
really
I know.
Communication method and trust in each other that is really hard to come by with a crew chief and a driver. But when you find it, you hold on to it as long as you can.
I think he was panicking a little bit at Bristol with the tires.
And
I think he
everything
was.
that we did in the 4 cars. So that was, that's hard to find, that trust and belief in each other.
Yeah, it's worked very, very well for him. Regan?
Well, Mike, very unusual to see Ross Chastain towards the bottom of the speed charts. Ross, what do you guys talk about in this short 20 minutes between you and Phil Surgeon to get the car better for qualifying?
How to go faster, Regan. Our Bushlight Chevy definitely way too tight firing off there. We did wait a few minutes, but my teammate Daniel rolled out 1 lap after me and was way faster. So, yeah, I guess we've checked off slowest in qualifying at Bristol, slowest in practice here at Richmond. Definitely not what we want, but we know that our balance is off there, just really tight, sliding the front tires a ton. So we settled in and we're okay long run because we weren't very fast to start. So yeah, it's a humbling deal, but we'll see. Free it up here and see if we can pick up a half second.
Mike, I can tell you, it's all hands on deck. Ross on the computer studying what he can study, the intercom system, everybody talking back and forth, trying to get him freed up to where he needs to be.
A lot of work to do in a short time to do it. Well, let's look at some of the drivers that have had great success in this young season. William Byron with the 2 wins, including last week. Christopher Bell with the most
crazy,
top
wasn't it,
3
Jamie?
finishes.
It was nuts.
Ty
Probably
Gibbs
one
is
of our
back
best
on
races
top of
ever.
the best average finish list. And Denny Hamlin, the only driver to lead every race this season so far. And here's your point leader, Martin Truex. Only driver to finish on the lead lap in every race thus far.
Then there's the rest of the organizations.
Yeah, this is a Martin Truex Jr. kind of weekend to be able
Karen
to try
says,
to
I
put
like
themselves
Chevy,
in the
but
victory
my
lane
picks
with
don't.
the style of race and driving and everything that comes with Richmond.
Oh, Rocket, that sucks,
A little
man.
loose on
Glad you
exit
can tune
off
in
the
for a little
2,
bit, buddy.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about. That crown on the straightaway coming off of turn 2 as you go late in the run. You want to wrap that line further around turn 2 to to straighten that exit out more. You don't want to go across that crown off the exit of 2 with wheel in the car and spin the back tires. Every time you slide the back of the car or spin the back tires, it just takes life out of the run, and you lose lap time longer in the run.
Last time we saw Corey LaJoie, he was lying on his back on the pit lane in Austin. Climbed out of the car and he said, suddenly I had a cramps from my rib cage to my toes after that race, but climbed up, walked away under his own power, went, got some fluids. He was fine.
I did see on social media this week he called us out for overselling that, though. I don't feel as if we oversold that, because then I followed it up by listening just about 3 minutes later, and he identified correctly the fact that he was crappie flopping on the deal, and he was cramped up, and he did get on a cart and go to the infield care center.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, he flopped out right in front of the TV booth. So,
yes,
oversold. No way.
But all's well that ends well.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. He was just cramped up, and every driver on pit road. We heard Christopher Bell talk this week how sick he was after the race and didn't feel well. I promise you that 3/4 of the field felt like that. That was an exhausting last run of the race, and you're just so busy there, and you don't get a break, and it's hot, and the drivers will have to go through not what they went through last week, but it's going to be the same thing here. You're going to have a lot of green flag laps and not get a break for a long time during this race this weekend as well.
1 minute left here in this practice. Make sure you hit that like button or trying to get the 100 like show.
Among the Toyotas in this Group B,
Keep on
behind Jones, Bell,
We're
and
2 away
Truex.
from 10,700.
Ahead of Hamlin and Reddick.
Makes me want a quarter pounder, boys.
Well, that'll also make you tired during the race if you eat too many quarter pounders, Clint.
Might be worth it, Kevin. You look like you could use one anyway.
Yeah.
Eric Jones is the quickest Toyota in this session, third overall behind McDowell and Keselowski, but again, that's just the one fastest laps. And we don't have best consecutive lap data on Group B because they're down off the bottom of our digital chart, which is occupied by all the Group A drivers. The track had more speed in it when Group A went out.
McDowell's there.
Chase
14.
Elliott, 29th overall. He is the third quickest Chevrolet in Group B, second behind Byron, just ahead of Hocevar, and then LaJoie, Busch, and Dillon.
See him coming to pit road. That box is hard to pick up. You want to practice pit road speed in this corner, so you get in a good rhythm where you go up and down on the speed to get back to the straight line speed.
Likes Kyle Larson,
tricky
and
pit
William
road.
Byard.
Everybody needs to practice it. If you don't, that's your own fault.
Awesome,
you
man.
put yourself
Thanks,
in a window to make a mistake early in the race, and we've seen a lot of mistakes on pit road this year. So
they're just
a lot of these guys need to practice.
slow. Track doesn't have much speed.
You see the orange box.
Well,
Yes,
one's what to do, and 6 cars what not to do.
Yes, and that's why you do it, because you got to know how far you can break into the corner. Easy to lock that left front tire up into turn 3. It's better to give up a little bit of time getting onto pit road so you can have those references and pick up the pit box, that box at the end of pit road to know that you need to be below that. So it's there's a lot that goes into it in those little details.
So Micah McDowell is the winner of Group B practice. Everybody turns their cars around for qualifying coming up next.
There's no.
All right, so Group A, Group B is the other. And there, now we're going to Group A. I need to change my sign. We're Group A now. But Kyle Larson was the fastest between both groups. I don't like how they put everything together because you can't see who's fast and who's not. But when they put them both together, Michael McDowell and Keselowski were the fastest of Group B compared into Group A. But here is your lineup for the qualifying for Group A. Justin Haley, Daniel Hemric, Josh Berry, Harrison Burton, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Preece, Zane Smith, Daniel Suarez, John Hunter Nemechek, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, and Ty Gibbs. Now, this first group will go out. We'll take the first top 5 qualifying for this, and then we'll move those into round 2. 6 through 18 will be on the outside line for the Toyota Owners 400. So make sure you're hitting that like button for us, trying to get to 100 likes, and keep on hitting subscribe. Lloyd says, I think Chris Buescher is going to be strong at this race. Well, he won here last year. So could the Chevys keep on doing their thing? Could Could Joey Logano get out of his bad streak that he's been in this year? But could he win this thing? He's strong here as well. If any Ford's going to do it, I would say that Josh Berry had a good run here as well in the Hendrick cars last year, taking the place of, I think it was Chase Elliott or it was Bowman. I can't remember. But Josh Berry had a good run here in those Hendricks cars. So he knows how to run here good as well. So keep hitting that subscribe. Keep hitting that like button for us. We're going to be bringing the live qualifying action here on the channel. Hope everybody has a good day. Early Saturday morning is one of our first early streams like this. So it's going to be, our attendance is going to be a little lower than normal. But we'll see if we can get some more folks in here during the race. And why the discrepancy between the groups? Mike Joy was saying that probably just the speed of the track. I don't know, maybe the clouds came in, maybe, I don't know. The temperature, I'm not sure. Temperature was a little cooler when they first started. I don't know. But Group A was definitely faster than Group B.
Welcome back to Richmond as we're getting ready for qualifying. Regan.
Well, Mike Brad Kozlowski down here debriefing with crew chief Matt McCall. Second quickest in the second group of practice, Brad. Nearly won this race last time here. Is this the weekend we get that win?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, Richmond's been such a great track for us. In the last 2 races here, Regan, I thought we were certainly in contention and, won stages and did all those things. So, so far, BuildSummerRace.com Ford looks really good, drives really good, got a great pace. We'll see how it'll qualify.
All right, got qualifying coming up. After qualifying, Xfinity race in the booth this afternoon. Are y'all brushed up on your notes? You ready for that?
I am. I got Joey Logano, Adam Alexander. Adam carries all of us. We all know it. So, Adam, thanks for your help. No, it should be fun. That's always a great race, the NASCAR Xfinity race here during the day, and we're going to see a lot of action.
All right, the keys are Brad Kozlowski, and get ready to qualify here in a moment.
Going to be a little extra drama in that Xfinity race. Bubba Pollard, the Super Late Model star, very, very fast in practice, but then went out to qualify. Had trouble getting through turn 1, and he'll be coming from the back of the field. That will be fun to watch. Today. The Toyota Care 250, 1:30 Eastern Time.
I remember one day we had a Looney Tunes promotion, and it was myself, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and I don't remember who else it was, but we were racing golf carts on pit road. And we probably have the footage of this somewhere here at Fox, but we were racing golf carts, and I'll never forget it because racing, whoop, Jeff Gordon out the other side of the golf cart. Dude fell out the right side of the golf cart.
Well, we have fun on the podcast every Tuesday and Thursday.
Who watches the podcast?
Listen to that anywhere you catch your podcast. And follow us on YouTube and have some fun with it.
I think we actually covered that in 21 here at this racetrack.
Yeah, you're right, San Diego Kid.
Here it is. Who does that? Oh, Bugs Bunny took off the turn 2 with nobody in it.
I guess they found something illegal on his car.
That is so funny.
God, that's half a Jeff.
We did that. We were at Watkins Glen, and is that Mamba Smith? Is he getting ready to do driver intros?
Mamba left it out there this week. He said, "Hey, if you guys get this retweeted more than 600 times, I'll wear a bunny suit during driver introductions." So, Mamba,
fool.
Yeah, I bought
600 times. That's it.
Yeah, I bought him a bunny suit, and he has to introduce all the drivers this weekend on the intro stage in that Easter bunny suit.
You remember when Bubba popped off that if you could get Richard Petty came by and signed his arm. He said if you can get 30,000 retweets or 43,000 retweets, and we got it. I went to work.
Yeah,
we got it, and then he wouldn't do it. He pulled back on it.
I tell you what, my Easter bunny doesn't look that happy. It's a very sad looking Easter bunny. But I bought it on Amazon, and it was like $36 and well worth every penny.
And he ran so well last week.
I would appreciate it. Maybe you. Look at that shirt.
I'm not wearing.
Look at that shirt.
Outfit.
Is there a Boyer shirt in there? I don't see one.
Would you just wait? You're only one year away.
They already.
All yours are headed overseas too. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming.
No, we're making new ones right now.
Huh?
We're making new ones right now.
Oh no! Wait.
Oh, look, there's another 4 hat.
All that stuff's going by the wayside. I just got somebody on Twitter showed me their grandpa had a version of my old race car on his golf cart.
Really?
Yeah. Said she misses grandpa. That's how old I am.
People like free stuff.
All right, so before that bunny has to join the Performers Union here for TV, we're going to go to Regan.
Oh, Mike, I don't know how we follow up that bunny suit that's on TV right now, but William Byron, a guy that has had a great week coming off of a win last week at COTA. What you learn out there today with your car for tomorrow.
24 fans in the chat.
Yeah, man, the week was super fun. I got a chance to spend a lot of time with my buddies and do some fun things and just relax ultimately. I got here this morning, which was a little chaotic. I was supposed to get here last night, but just really happy with our car. It felt awesome in practice there.
I know,
so
right?
We typically really struggle here, and to have a car that feels like that in practice, I feel really optimistic. And we just got to see for qualifying, what balance we need, but it's just typical Richmond.
Justin
You
Haley.
lose in on the long run and lose, on exit of 4. So just trying to balance what we really need and how much is too much. All right, good luck in qualifying. Thanks.
Thanks, Regan. Justin Haley out first. He has 2 Xfinity runner-up finishes here at Richmond and 6 Cup starts. Group A and Group B, the top 5 from each will advance to the final round. And then each group will line up. Group A in the outside lane from row 6 on back, Group B on the inside lane.
Well, we saw this with Bubba Pollard earlier. He was the fastest in Xfinity practice and then went out first in qualifying with all the rubber on the racetrack, and until it gets cleaned up, it's tough to get grip. Justin Haley ran 22.42 in practice and backed that up with a 23 flat. So you do not want to be one of the first few cars out, in my opinion.
Way off. No, that's point taken, point proven right there with Justin Haley.
Yeah, and what happens, they pick up some of that rubber that gets laid down with all the consecutive laps, and the track just gets cleaned up and faster as you run. So last week's bad week compounds into this week's bad qualifying effort, usually if you have to go out first.
Daniel Hemric's finished inside the top 20 3 times this year. Has 1 top 20 Cup finish here at Richmond, and he's quicker, 22.98.
Yeah, and for this first group, it's tough to know how fast you need to go because you went so fast in practice with the cleaner racetrack. As this qualifying session goes, I'm definitely telling my drivers what the speed is and trying to make them realize that you're probably not going to go as fast in qualifying as you did on your first lap out in practice.
22.97, he picks up 100th. And here's Josh Berry. Started 30th, but finished 2nd here last April. I bet he's going to be the best fastest here. Injured Chase Elliott.
Yeah, and that's a big arc into turn 1, and you see never really got to the bottom of the racetrack. Hard on the chip into turn 3. He definitely got to the bottom right there, and that's what you want to do in turn 1 when you do it right.
I think this is probably going to be the money lap here. Still missed the bottom quite a bit. Overdrove turn 1.
You're
and
cool,
that's really what you're telling your drivers. Hey, and for me, I always just tried to drive it into the exact same mark and adjust my speed from where I released the brake and where I got into the throttle, because it's hard to tell yourself that you need to do that, but it's definitely what you need to do.
Yeah, the car is going to automatically roll with more speed. Allow that car to do that. Don't overdrive the corner and push, drive a push into it or something like that. It's going to hurt your lap.
Harrison Burton got a top 20 finish here 2 years ago, and he has a top 5 here in Xfinity Series racing. Top of the board, 22.55.
Well, they're getting closer to backing up the laps that they were running in practice.
Well, it's definitely going to get better as they run, as that rubber gets picked up off the bottom of the racetrack and cleaned up. But unfortunately, for these first few cars that have to go out, they're the ones that have to pick it up.
First lap was faster for Burton. Kyle Larson took a Chevy in practice, and here's Austin Dillon. 6 top tens at Richmond. Finished 4th here 4 years ago.
You can see it right there. 31st, 31st, 21st. Hasn't been a good start to the season for Austin Dillon, but a good track, just like you said, Mike.
Very good
track. Get it turned around and back on track this weekend at Richmond.
Yeah, and where he's been so good lately at this particular track is on the long runs. Their cars just seem to have a lot of good speed.
And this season, he's been caught up with a couple of early incidences. Sorry, Clint, it's rubbing off. Early incidents, but he's been a grinder and grounded out. Got his points, got his finishes, and he is fastest.
I think they've choked the oxygen off in this booth today.
I always felt like this was a racetrack, Clint. And you tell me if you did the same thing. You were always really good here.
Ricky Spithouse Jr.
I always felt like this was a racetrack. You drive it into the same spot in qualifying, but you release the brakes sooner. And with this next-gen car, it's definitely different style. You usually can't release the brake anywhere else and do that differently from practice to qualifying. But this was always a place I felt like you could release the brake and let it go up the racetrack a little bit and gain that speed by mid-corner speed.
And that's the difference between running good and bad here. And by the way, it can be the exact same setup and the exact same car from the spring to the fall race. You lift off the brakes, and one race it'll turn and hook that yellow line. The next minute it'll push up. It has to be able to rotate off the brakes. If it doesn't, you're in for a long haul.
All right, Stenhouse bumps in. Here's Regan.
Like Eric Jones was good a couple weeks ago at Phoenix on a shorter racetrack, a 1 mile racetrack, 3/4 mile racetrack this weekend. You guys were good in Group B, 3rd quickest of that group. How important to capitalize on these short tracks?
Yeah, I mean, I think our short track program's better this year, and so we have some speed and unload with that.
He's with a Toyota, that's why.
Dollar Tree Camry. Unloaded pretty good, but went a little bit free, so we'll keep working on it. Our long run wasn't what we wanted it to be there, but I think our teammate had some good long run speed, so we'll look at that. And qualifying, I feel pretty good about just having outright speed, so hopefully go start getting the top 10, and you can make it to Group B. It's a good feeling, so we'll see if we can go do that.
He bumps
good luck.
in.
Thanks, sir.
All right, Ryan Preece finished top 5 here last July. He's going to bump in at least to the bubble spot here.
Got a good lap going. Keeps getting greener as he progresses here.
Top of the board, 22:47.
Now that's the first car. This goes in line with what you were saying, Kevin. That's the first car that I've seen it actually went faster than their practice speeds. It just kept getting closer and closer as we go through this session.
Thanks for the subscribe.
Preece was
one
for sure
more,
the first car that went faster.
10,700.
Austin Dillon almost the exact same.
Zane Smith compared to Josh Berry, who is now on the bubble. It's Smith's 3rd Cup start on a short track and his 1st at Richmond.
He bumps everyone, exactly.
See the difference there in the Ghost car? He backed the corner up. The car rotated, hooked that yellow line, and rotated around. Barry let his car roll in the corner too fast, washed up, and paid the price.
Zane Smith going to bump Josh Berry in that top 5
Smith
spot.
bumps in with a 56 to Berry's 57.
Look how close those times are, Clint.
All right,
Daniel Suarez, 3 top 10s here with a best finish of 7th. Neither of the Trackhouse cars were quick in practice compared to the rest of the field, as you heard. Chastain explained to Regan that they were looking for speed.
Still looking for it on the first lap. See if he can pick it up. Should, by all means, but still not picking up near what I thought he would. I don't think he's going to be happy with this lap at all.
Yeah, and you actually heard him upshift right there going into turn 3, and then had to go right back down and downshift it.
And he buried the car into the turn 3.
But it worked. 22:51 puts him 2nd on the board, and that'll bump Zane Smith out of the fast 5.
Practice.
We're halfway through Group A qualifying,
right
and Berlin, Connecticut's Ryan Preece is fastest so far.
Wow, shocking there for Suarez. He was really slow in practice. So make sure you're hitting that like button, y'all. We're trying to get to 100 likes here on this qualifying stream. Appreciate all the love here. We're at 53, so we got some way to go. 167 of us here. See if we can bump it up pretty quick to that 100 likes. And also, hit the subscribe. We're one away from 10,700. We're trying to make sure you join our NASCAR community today. We have a great community of NASCAR fans. We have fun together watching the races, and you're not going to find any better NASCAR chat than ours and what we do here. So hope you guys enjoy us, and if you are subscribed, thanks for coming back to us and hanging out with us. So Group A here, we're in Group A. Coming up, John Hunter Nemechek, then Logano and Briscoe. And right now, Ryan Preece, the fastest of Group A. And then Group B will go, and then we'll go to our second round. So thanks so much for hanging out, guys. 53 likes. Let's see if we can get some more. Hit that like, sub. Awesome community. That's right, Stupid Roofer. Snick Rep says, was Suarez slower than 119 mile in practice? Yeah, he was one of the guys in Group B were passing his time. I remember saying that during the practice in Group B that Suarez was way down there. So I don't know. Maybe he was sandbagging during practice. I don't know what he was doing, but Suarez second. Interesting. Snit says he done good though. Yeah, he did. And they used to run 124 miles an hour years ago, he said, but he did good then. Group B was really bad. They didn't test. Yeah, they didn't show anything pretty much. Group B was really slow. Only McDowell and Keselowski broke into the Group A drivers. Everybody else was kind of behind. So we'll see what happens when all these guys get together here. We're just waiting on the commercial to come back. We'll be bringing you live audio of the race, of the qualifying, as we're in Group A. And here we go, back at it.
Denny Hamlin just finishing up studying to get ready for qualifying here. Denny, you come off of old tires at the end of practice. When and where do you determine how hard you're going to drive it into turn one for qualifying?
A lot of it is really feel, especially at this racetrack. It just 50 feet here and there really makes a big difference. And so you just try to get a little bit more, but really for myself, it's been about feel at this track. And so definitely been hit or miss in qualifying, but hopefully we can get ourselves in that final round. That's just the only goal we got.
Thanks, Denny.
John Hunter Nemechek on track, won a Truck Series race here in 2021. Larry Mack, Ryan Preece has the fastest lap. What was different about his lap?
Yeah, I've been looking at the braking. Kevin and Clint were talking about brakes getting in the corner. Down in 1 and 2, Preece was about like everyone else. But down in 3 and 4, he had about 100 pounds more brake pressure than anybody I've seen. But he got on it and he got off and he let the car roll. He spiked the brake pressure, but he wasn't on it long.
Nemechek goes to second. That'll bump Harrison Burton and bring out Joey Logano, who has 2 wins and 18
in the chat, y'all.
top 10
Joey
finishes
Logano on the track
here at Richmond. 2 poles here as well.
Big weekend for these guys. They hadn't run like they needed to, and this is always one of Joey's good tracks. So this will be a good judge as to where they are.
Real good first lap.
Top of the board, 33.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. You said it, Kevin. There it is. Good racetrack for Joey Logano. Hard to believe he's 22nd in points.
Next car is in the 3, so 33.
Second lap.
I don't know about your...
Just about 1.5 hundredths off of the first one. Here is Chase Briscoe. Has 2 top 10 starts this season, and he's finished just outside the top 10 here twice.
It looked a lot like his teammate Josh Berry. Just did not want to get down and hunt that yellow line in turn 1 and 2. Let's see if he can make an adjustment this next time by. Needs a better lap for sure.
Needs half a tenth to break into the fast 5 here.
Right there.
Cheers.
Going the wrong direction, the apex of the corner, much like his teammate again. They just don't want to roll the center very well, do they, Kevin?
Truex is up in Group B.
Well, he got off a turn 2 pretty good, and he's like you say, having to wait on the throttle in the middle of the corner. And we talk about the braking, and this is definitely a racetrack. You want the car to brake well, but you guard against being loose in, and so you adjust the brake pads and bias and everything and sometimes it makes it too tight under braking going to the center of the corner. But you got to be able to drive the car with the pedals being on your side, and it just looks like both those cars are too tight.
I want to go back to what Denny Hamlin just told Regan. You know, all we really want to focus on this first lap is just being good enough to make that final round. But look at those lap times. I mean, the front side of a 50's 4th, and the back side's clear down to 9th. They're very, very tight. Trying to take care of business and make that final round, but not, being too lackadaisical with your lap is a tricky thing to balance out here.
Chris Buescher won here last July after starting 26th. Trying to bump in here, and he does, right up to second place.
I think RFK cars are going to be very good this weekend. I liked what I saw out of his teammate Brad Keselowski too.
Well, they better hope they're good this weekend, because this is a good track for them, and if they're not, that's a huge alarm that should go off as we're off more than we think we are or need to be.
All right, here's Larson.
Because RFK has just run well here, like you say.
Now, Kyle Larson won this race last year, leading 93 laps, and he won here in 2017 as well. Larson second. That bumps Suarez.
Wow, he didn't get the...
Talked to Kyle this week. He was like, man, I just can't figure out Richmond.
Dropping those fives.
If you run good in the spring, you come back in the fall, and you're just junk. He says, we weren't very good in the spring, come back and won in the fall. Being able to put this track together both races is very difficult. And it's been that way. I was like, well, bud, get in line, because it's been that way since I started way back when as well.
So Logano,
it's
Larson,
a tough track,
Buescher,
and
Preece,
it just
Nemechek.
all those little details that Denny Hamlin talked about in order to run fast here.
We see those watermelons or those ones.
It changes. It changes, and it's going to be a lot different at night. These guys have not raced at night.
So Larson's lap locks Logano into the second round. Here's Ross Chastain, who finished third here
Hold on,
last
I'll be right back, y'all.
Same thing. When those cars, you left off the brake and that thing's still headed north, not good. You need to be able to roll out of the brake there, and it cut left and hump that yellow line. You can see, look at the angle difference in his car. He was able to get it rotating and get back to the gas. But push comes to shove, and to be good, especially long into these runs, that thing needs to be pointed back left.
That's a way better lap out of Ross Chastain.
Big pickup, and it bumps Nemechek. Chastain now third. That will lock Kyle Larson into the final round. Here's Ryan Blaney. Finished seventh here 2 years ago. His best Richmond finish.
That's right, Kelly. Go Vols. And Dookie.
And Blaney with a bit of work to do here.
Here's Blaney. Can he get it?
Now the light goes green. Nope, went green right at the start of the lap, and then back. He's flirting with it.
Right now.
That was a big arc, and he was able to get it to the bottom, Clint. So that's a great 1 and 2 for him. Oh, got the apron a little bit.
And look at it, pay the price, and he might still get it on the exit just by a little bit, though. Not much.
By a bumper.
He does. Blaney is in. That bumps Ryan Preece. Moves Buescher onto the hot seat, and that will lock Chastain into round 2 as Alex Bowman,
48th.
Winner here 3 years ago, and on a hot streak of top 5 finishes.
Did you hear how much different that car was popping and crackling, getting into the corner with the Ford versus some of these other cars? It's definitely something different.
Hit that like button and subscribing, y'all. We're trying to get to 100.
That.
Bowman by 1/1000th of a second knocks Buescher out of the Fast 5.
Ah,
man, those are tight lap times.
So this will lock in Blaney to the final round unless Bowman is faster. And he is. Bowman puts himself in the final round. So it's Blaney against Ty Gibbs for the final spot in round 2.
Who gets it? The kid or Blaney or the defending champ?
Well, we expect a lot out of this kid, Clint. He's had a great start to the season. Great track for them as well.
Might be a good opportunity for them if they can pounce on this.
Whoever does
get a good
Ty
lap
Gibbs'
in this
camera
first one and lock
awesome.
himself in, and might be able to save a lap on his tires. Be an advantage here in the final round.
We're gonna be watching Ty Gibbs being able to do that. Camera action's awesome.
He'll be the only one. Might not be able to get it here. Boy, that'd have been a huge advantage. I think for sure it was on their mind.
A 50, so he needs 6/100ths of a second to bump in.
Or Blaney, I mean.
Yeah, and he hurt himself a little bit down the front straightaway getting that car on the chip before he shifted.
Got off of turn 2 well. He saw the speed progress as he went down the back straightaway. Look at this.
Great
nice pickup.
Great exit.
He did it. Gibbs to second.
All on exit of 3 and 4.
Ty Gibbs.
And that's
Where's Eric Church at?
That's notoriously what those Gibbs cars are really good at here.
Rotation and putting that power down.
From Group A, Logano's Ford, Gibbs Toyota, and 3 Chevrolets lock into round number 2.
All right, so Logano, Gibbs, Larson, Chastain, and Bowman move on to round 2. Group B is coming up. 6 through 18 will start on the outside line of the race tomorrow night for the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond. So there is your qualifying. All right, now we are in Group B. So let me move my sign off. Group B qualifying now. Group B. Like my new little sign so you guys know whose group is what. Very nice, Ty Gibbs. Man, Ty Gibbs like turned it on there in that corner, y'all, and just moved it in. So Group B now. Starting with Gregson, Ty Dillon, Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell was the fastest of Group B. Keselowski was in there as well. Eric Jones, Kaz Grala, Brad Keselowski, Todd Gilliland, Corey LaJoie, Carson Hocevar, Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, and William Byron are your qualifying. So we'll see how it goes. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Hit that like button. Trying to get to 100 likes, y'all. We're at 66. Keep hitting that like button for appreciation of what you like seeing here today. Kelly says, I saw Justin Hitley on that list. I thought he got suspended. He didn't get suspended. He just lost his position, I think, last week at COTA. He had such a good run. So, and coming up in group round 2, our group round 2 will have the top 10 fastest, and they will go for a poll, and I will be putting in the link our Xfinity race that we'll be showing today on our channel. Just like this, live audio, leaderboard, our reactions, emojis, mini games, and all that stuff in the chat.
You know, we misspeak occasionally up here in the booth. Okay, sometimes quite often, but looks like the sign painter had a bad night last night. They did come out with 2 spray bombs, 1 white, 1 black, and get it fixed.
Now we know why Clint was late for the meeting this morning. He was fixing his spelling error.
Gave me the wrong. It didn't give me an A in the templates.
Regan.
Here's Gregson. Whoever was asking about Gregson, here he is.
Mike Joey Logano, quickest in the first group that just ran right there. Going to transfer through. You've been great in qualifying this year. Can we expect more of the same in the next round from you?
I hope so. Qualifying at Richmond is always pretty unique with running 2 laps and you're fastest on your first, your second. Seems like it's kind of 50-50 through the top 5 there. So hopefully the Shell Penzo Mustangs got speed in the second run and making sure we keep up with the adjustments from cycles and those type of things that we don't really know what cycles are going to do very well here. So we'll attune to what we think is right, and hopefully it's just as fast the second time.
Thanks, Joey.
Noah Gregson begins Group B, the Xfinity winner here in 2021. 22:25 is his time. And here's Ty Dillon making the first of his 5 Cup starts for Kaulig Racing this weekend.
Well, that lap by Noah is faster than anybody ran in the first group.
So maybe the Group B was sandbagging.
22:55 for Dillon.
And I think one comment on Joey Logano's comments that we always struggled with here was trying to make the car run again in the second round and make the front turn and get the balance right. So I agree. I mean, it's going to be probably slower than what you ran in the first round, or just maybe the same speed, but most likely a little bit slower, and trying to judge your balance based on that speed and what that speed is quite the guess.
Logano a 33 in round one, Gregson with a 25. So Michael McDowell, who was quickest in practice, finished 6th here last year in this race. His best Richmond finish.
Well, I think much like we saw in Bristol a couple of weeks ago, I think this track was a better indication of what we have, right, for the conditions in Group B versus Group A. So you might see some faster speeds out of this group.
Yeah, running that slower takeoff speed to start the second practice should give them a better indication of what they need for qualifying. So you're definitely right on that, in my opinion.
McDowell picks it up to second. Sets the table for Eric Jones. 13 starts at Richmond, a best finish.
Yeah, Sandy O'Giddy's moved on to round 2.
Runner-up here in an Xfinity race.
And they've run well, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have as many good finishes as they should. You know, for as well as they've run to start the season at many of the places we've gone to.
Jones second fastest.
Eric Jones on the track here, making his second lap.
Hard on that chip.
B.
Well, would you rather do that, or would you rather shift at the end of that?
I'm always going to be on the chip.
That,
okay.
Yeah,
for sure. When you shift, it just adds another element to already challenging entrance to a corner. And by the way, you can manage that a little bit. I know you're trying to get the most out of your lap, but you're doing that and keeping in the same gear and rattling that chip just for one lap. The engine guys don't like it. Don't do it every lap, but if you need it for a qualifying lap, certainly go ahead and do it.
Kaz Grala making his first Cup start at Richmond. Finished 4th here last year in the Xfinity race.
I just want to do everything the same. I want to do everything the same that I did in race trim. So if I can leave that car in 4th gear down the back straightaway. Oh!
Kaz Grala hit the wall.
That's what we talk about as you go over that crown coming off of turn 2 onto the straightaway. You've got to have the car straight driving towards the wall.
And he had a handful of wheel in it, and as soon as it crowned over that, it busts the rear end loose and gets sideways on you in a hurry. I mean, it happens that fast. Tight, snap loose.
Comes Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski, 2 times a Richmond winner.
See that car loose in the corner, Brad, fighting the wheel on entry.
Keselowski here. He was second fastest in practice.
Second.
And he's second fastest here. Yeah, those
and
RFK
Keselowski's one and done.
Good, stupid roofer.
Regan.
Oh, Mike, Ryan Blaney barely misses making it to the second round of qualifying. More importantly, though, did you learn what you needed about the race car come race time tomorrow to be good in the race?
Yeah, yeah, it stinks we didn't get, transfer in our group, but we kind of just missed it a little bit in qualifying. But I thought our race pace was fairly decent. I was pretty happy with it. So we'll see. It's going to change a little bit, from what it was today to tomorrow night. Track goes through swings. This place is pretty temperature sensitive, I feel like. So we'll see, but in a decent spot with our Menards Duracell Ford Mustang, and see what we got tomorrow night.
Good luck. Thanks.
Todd Gilliland got a top 15 here last April. His best finish in 4 Cup starts here.
I like the thought by Keselowski and company on the 6 of pulling off after the first lap. But I think that's going to be really close on making it or not making it. They might wish they wouldn't have done that. That's an impulse decision, though. I mean, you have to make it right then and there.
And
they pulled the trigger on it.
Wow.
But after what I've seen so far,
that front
that
row
might be close.
So Gilliland is fastest. His first lap was the quickest, and here is Corey LaJoie.
Corey LaJoie.
Who qualified a career best
Any
fifth
LaJoie
last
fans
week at
out
Kona.
there?
Yeah, it was a good start last weekend, but boy, it unraveled fast. Right off the bat at the top of the hill in turn one, he got knocked out of the way, and then he was beat up off of, I think it was one of the, what was it, 10 or 11? About every one after that for one lap.
No.
He went straight backwards, lost a ton of time, and just kind of unraveled from there.
So LaJoie bumps McDowell, who was fastest in practice in his group.
What's up, Dark Shadows, buddy? What's going on?
Second lap's faster.
Yeah, and that little bit of pickup is really important as tight as these qualifying runs
fastest.
are.
So he knocks out
Look at him, 2 1,000s faster than Keselowski there.
Which puts back to my point. I think Keselowski's in trouble. He's going to wish he had that second lap back here.
Carson Hocevar won the truck race here last summer. This is his first Cup appearance at Richmond.
Hocevar.
Well, he sent that thing into turn one pretty hard. Grabbed a little bit of apron right there. Kind of upset the car. He's going to have to reset and do it again.
There you go.
When you see that ticker go that far
there you go.
in the green on the entry to the corner, we're going to have to hope that it turns in the middle. He got it to turn better that lap.
Good entry.
Sure did.
He's got a good shot to advance here.
Yes, he does.
Hocevar.
Fifth
Look
for
at
the
that.
rookie. He bumps Eric Jones with a 22.36.
Hocevar in the top 5.
Todd Gilliland, fastest so far, halfway through Group B qualifying.
All right. So we are in the little commercial break here. We got Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, William Byron, all to come. So that top 5 might look a little different here before it's over. But thank you guys hitting the like button. Keep on hitting that like button for us. We're trying to get to 100 likes. And we'll see if we can make it there on this little qualifying practice stream. We still got all of round 2 to come as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that subscribe as well if you'd like to join us for any more NASCAR here on the channel. Coming up after this, about an hour after qualifying ends, we'll be bringing you the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming up for the race here. The Toyota Care 250 live from the Richmond Raceway. We'll be bringing you the live audio, the leaderboard, our reactions, all the mini games, and all that stuff tonight. So you like the 77, he should be a rookie of the year. We'll see what happens. Probably a good chance that's going to happen. He looks pretty good, Hocevar. And that's Spire Racing 77. Teammate Corey LaJoie, both of those guys in the top 5. So Spire's really done something good here this weekend. They got some speed. But like I said, that top 5 could look awful different after the second half of this goes. We got a whole bunch of top drivers to come. Those Toyotas there, Reddick, Truex, and Christopher Bell. But the Fords, looking pretty good so far, Stupid Roofer. But happy Saturday morning, y'all. Easter Sunday tomorrow. Hope everybody enjoys a holiday. If you could be with us tomorrow night, make sure you do. We'll be coming up covering the Toyota Owners 400 tomorrow under the lights here at Richmond. We'll have that stream up later on today. We don't have it on right now, but it will be up. Definitely. And then also tomorrow, we're going to probably be doing the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Purdue Boilermakers. The winner goes to the Final Four. My Tennessee Volunteers, second time ever making it to the Elite Eight, and that's going to be a great game. I'm so happy that they had that as the first game of the day. So look forward to that, and then the race tomorrow. Can't wait to have some fun. Keep hitting that subscribe. That's the most important. Keep hitting that subscribe, and then hitting that like button. Here we go. Back to it.
Joey third in Group B with the exact same time as Joey Logano, who was fastest in Group A. As we set the field for the final round of pole qualifying, here's Austin Cindric, runner-up here in the Xfinity Series. 5 starts at Richmond, best finish of 12th.
regardless, there's two things that stick out in that to me, or three things. Gilliland, Gregson, and LaJoie. Phenomenal laps by all three of those guys.
Larry, what was different about Todd Gilliland's lap?
To that.
Yeah, Mike, he is the only one as far as the Fast Five in either group so far that stayed in fourth gear down the back straightaway and through 3 and 4.
So I don't know.
Everybody else has been shifting.
Now, we covered it with Keselowski. I don't think it's enough, but I think at 22 for Cindric, I think that would have been enough. I may have went for it. Pull that thing off after that first lap. Didn't,
Cindric
obviously,
fastest.
but we'll see.
You're such a gambler.
I think it's safe, don't you? A 22?
Yeah, I do.
Cindric goes to the top as Bubba Wallace, who finished 12th here last July.
Most of these guys, if
Richmond
they have a
finish.
good lap, they're just doing one.
Rolls out.
It's picking up in a big way, though. I could be wrong.
Well, those Fords are always really good firing off and qualifying on the sticker tires, and 4 of the 5 are Fords in this group so far.
Well, the flip side of that is you don't want to do what 6 car did. You don't want to make that decision too early, pull the trigger on that, and then wish you didn't.
And I'm guessing that's what the 2 team figured out.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Keselowski ran one lap. Let's see how that worked out. Oops.
Let's not
He
be
may not make it. Let's not do that.
Yeah, he's done.
Another big, look at this.
Wow.
Bubba Wallace.
2 car lengths.
Yes,
Wallace to
sir.
the top, and Keselowski is bumped from the Fast 5.
That's exactly what he's thinking right there. Dang it.
Here's Chase.
Bubba Wallace
Any
ran
Chase
5th
fans
gear
out
all
there?
the way around, Larry
You see
tells
those
us. No lapping at
nines.
all.
As fast as that lap was, you probably had to.
Chase Elliott has finished top 5 in 1/3 of his starts here. Runner-up here in 2018. Past Xfinity Series winner here.
These guys, much like what we saw at Bristol, they just have a much better indication of the racetrack.
You calling him off, Clint?
Yes, I am.
Ford's waiting on Toyota to send them to the bottom. That's
Oh, no,
right.
you still got 6 drivers to go.
A 16?
Can he better that?
Centennial Cars, what's up?
Well, we were talking a high 20 during the
Yes,
break.
sir. Go
And he does
Vols.
with an 11.
And that's now a mid-20. So that's why we're sitting up here.
Kyle Busch with a new sponsor.
All right, Rowdy
And
Nation.
6 victories
Let
at
me see ya.
Richmond, Larry.
Yeah, Mike, he has 6 victories at Richmond. You think about short tracks, you talk
Let me
about the
see
Bristol
those
Concrete,
eights.
Martinsville, and Richmond. He has 16 short track wins. I found it amazing. He has not won on a short track
man.
in 5 years.
Let me see
you have to
those
go back
eights,
to
y'all.
Bristol in April of 2019.
Wow.
Let me say it this way, Kevin.
Nice hat.
This
You
is
do
why you
something
run
about that
good in
shirt.
practice, because whoever goes out the last here will have the option, and whoever does get to do that, I think will have the pole.
See
You
those
might see a
eights?
couple of these cars have that affordability if they can somehow, some way, maybe get the air pressures pumped up to run that first lap.
So Kyle Busch bumps Noah Gragson with an identical time.
On lap 1.
And there are 5 drivers to go. Denny Hamlin.
All right, Denny. Show them
4
how
wins
it's
here,
done, baby.
tons of laps led, over 2,000.
You hear the same strategy for Denny on the shifting. Oh, he decided to downshift and try it again.
A 35. He needs to find a 10th to bump in.
Hit chip on a shift, too. That'll slow that straightaway speed
on,
down
Danny.
a little bit.
Get the second lap right here, baby.
It's going to need some.
I hate that
Get through
paint
3 and
job
4
on
a
that
lot
car.
better.
I hate this
Flirting with the green here. Can he do it?
Yeah, and he changed his shift strategy from lap 1 to lap 2. He tried what Bubba
Then he
did.
knocks
He's
Rowdy
in
out of
with
the
a
top
30,
5.
23 to Busch's 25.
It's not
I
going to
don't
last,
think that's going to do it.
Nope.
Not
It
gonna
does
do
lock Chase Elliott into the final round. Tyler Reddick has started top
All right,
5
see
the
what he
last
can
2
do.
Richmond races.
About them 45s.
including a
Anybody
pole
out there?
in July.
45. Any Reddick fans out there?
White flag one more.
A 29. needs almost half a second.
Let's go Chevy. What's up, Richard Carr? Keep hitting that like button, y'all. We're trying to get to 100 likes. 227 in here. We can do it.
And it went red as he got back to the gas coming up off turn number 4.
Yeah, well, that's because he's in 5th gear, and the car is just not accelerating off the corner
not fast
like
enough.
Denny Hamlin's car did. So, I think Bubba made it work really good leaving it in 5th gear, but I still don't think that's the correct strategy.
All right, here's my
Well,
pick
that will
to
lock
win it
Bubba
all,
Wallace
y'all.
into the final round. Here's Martin Truex. Since the start of 2019, he's won 1 of every 3 races here. He's the point leader. And he bumps in by 2 1,000ths of a second over Hamlin.
Well, with 3 cars to go here, the scenario we're talking about is on the table, but it's obviously not for Truex, just barely being there with a 22. I think he's going to lock in for now, but I worry.
Second lap is slower. So that knocks Hamlin out of the Fast 5. And it will lock Austin Cindric into the final round. There were no Fords in the final round last week.
We're down to Bell and William Byron here.
Right. You see a lot of right.
Way loose getting into 1. He's going to have to run 2 for sure.
Well, he's happy.
Regroup here, Christopher.
He's happy he did that in turns 1 and 2, not in 3 and 4, because if he did that down here, it would have ruined both laps. He's got 1 shot now.
You got 1 shot. Christopher Bell trying to get Truex here. Nope, not fast enough.
Not gonna be the lap Christopher Bell wanted.
Nope. Gets a bit of a pickup, but he's looking at the 14th row for Sunday. All right, that will lock in Todd Gilliland to the final round. It's now William Byron against Martin Truex
Keep on hitting that
for
like
the
button,
final
y'all.
spot. 3rd straight year, William has started the season off with multiple wins.
Rolled really good through the center.
Not enough, a 23.
Man, it was close, Kevin.
He needs 100th. Was that close to being able to save 1 lap on his tires?
I can't help but think that wasn't in the plan. Just barely missed it.
Got him.
You got him.
Nope.
No.
Second lap is slower for Byron, so Truex will advance. And the field is set to run for the Busch Light pole. Chase Elliott, fastest in Group B.
All right. Chase Elliott, fastest in Group B. So Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Cindric, Todd Gilliland, and Martin Truex Jr. will move on. So 6 through 18 will be on the inside lane for the Toyota Owners 400. 6 through 18, Denny Hamlin all the way back to Kaz Grala. So they will be on the inside lane for the Toyota Owners 400 on Sunday. So round 2 with Group A and Group B coming up here. I guess I need to have a round 2. So Group A, Group B's done. So now it's the final round. Final round. And we'll see who gets the pole for the out of the 10 cars. Who do you think's going to win? Who's going to get the pole here? Congratulations, Chase. Yeah, Chase makes it in. Keep hitting that like button, y'all. Trying to get to 100 likes. We're 19 away from 100. If you haven't hit the like button, keep on subscribing as well. We're going to be bringing the Xfinity race here very shortly. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and get that set now. I'll get you the pin message for the Xfinity race. It'll be on in about an hour right after this is over. Oh. that. Share button, copy. And then let's do this right here. We get that for you guys. 9 gets the pole. All right. Hopefully the 5 or 9 or the 48 gets the pole, Jake. What's up, Jake? I didn't see you there. Jesse says Truex. Stupid Roofer says Martin Truex Jr. all day. That's what I'm going to go with as well. Should work. Pin message this. All right, so there is the pin message for the Xfinity race. Make sure you're joining us over there. Go over there and give it a like and hang out for us. Be about an hour after this Cup Series ends. We'll be back here for some Xfinity Series action on the channel. So we'll bring in the live coverage. And there's your top 10 drivers. Chastain, Cindric, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Todd Gilliland, Alex Bowman, and Ty Gibbs. One of these guys is going to be your pole sitter for the Toyota Owners 400. So back to it here in a second.
Left to right, the fastest of the top 5 in Group A and Group B. 4 Chevys, 3 Toyotas, and 3 Fords are about to run for the pole here in Richmond. Here's Riggin.
Like one of those Toyotas that's getting ready to run for the pole at Richmond. Bubba Wallace, a great lap. So what do you got to do to get just a little bit more to go get that pole?
I look at the last 2 weeks and not making mistakes in the second round is going to be key for sure. But nice to just unload with some speed here at Richmond, carrying off the momentum we had last time we were here. Really relaxed weekend. Get to go home later. My wife's birthday today, so happy birthday, Amanda. See you soon. But yeah, I think just not trying to get too much. You know, you're in the second round. You have a decent pit stall selection, so just go out there and hit your marks and be cool, calm, and collected. You'll be fine.
You guys are debriefing, looking at what's going on in terms of the SMT and the data that you guys can look at. Anything you pick up in that in between rounds that maybe transfers over?
Yeah, looking at brake traces. I was really heavy on the brakes, so I think just losing a little bit less, getting to the min speed a little bit sooner will be key for us. But also, you know, going out 9th here, we have 8 cars in front of us that we can have a good reference for to shoot for. So it'll be nice to see what happens.
All right, things lining up nicely for Bubba right here in qualifying.
Yeah, qualify Saturday morning, race Sunday night. So the Cup teams have 24 hours between the end of qualifying and when they have to be back at the racetrack for Easter evening. There are the 10 drivers who will advance. One of them will win the pole here shortly.
Alrighty, so we're just waiting on it to come back. We'll see who gets this. I'm going to go... I want to say Truex, but I want him to win. I don't think he can win from the pole. I think Larson gets the pole. I think Kyle Larson gets the pole. That's my opinion. I don't know. I'd like to say Truex, but I really don't want to say Truex gets the pole and he wins the race because I predicted Truex to win the race. So I think I'm going to go Larson with the pole. And he dominates, but then Truex ends up winning in the 3rd stage. That's my guess. Kenneth Clark says 9 gets the pole. Roofer says take MTJ. What's up, Rowdy Bush? What's going on? I'm going for Bowman for the pole for the first time, San Diego Kid says. All right, we'll see what happens. Keep hitting that like button, y'all, man. We're getting close to not getting 100 likes. This is probably our lowest qualifying stream we've had since we've started. We're at 84. We got 16 to go to 100. Help us get to 100 before this is over, y'all. We might not make it. We might not make it. Keep hitting that subscribe, too, as well. It's Easter weekend, though. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of people traveling. A lot of people with their families and stuff. Plus, it's early. We normally don't even... we usually start about an hour later than this anyway. So, Kyle Larson gets the pole, Sydney says. Kelly says 20 to 35 lap averages slow, the 48 and the 12 faster. Thank you for the subscribes. Appreciate it. Next week, the races start. NASCAR races start on FS1. There will be not a race on Fox for a while, like 4 weeks in a row, I believe, of FS1. So if you do not have FS1, we'll be here for you guys. So make sure you're hanging out. Make sure you're hitting that notification bell so you know when we go live. Smash those free subs. That's right. They're free. Exactly, Richard. Logano, you can do this, Karen says. Needs something to. I mean, he's been starting on the pole for a lot. I mean, on the front row those first couple races, but he has not done well with his ending races. He's had a lot of bad luck. Basketball on this weekend too. Got some big games. UConn and Illinois. Alabama, Clemson. It's going to be a big game. I'm going to get the ticker fixed as well during the break. I'm going to get baseball on there too as well today. All right, here we go.
Who's the fastest? That's what we're about to find out. Here's Regan.
Todd Gilliland, a great job qualifying into the next round, actually in round 2 for you for the basically first time this year on a normal racetrack. So how good does that feel to have a fast car?
Yeah, it feels really good. I think, it just shows the preparation that my guys are bringing to the racetrack at Front Row Motorsports. I think, we've been showing it more and more. But, today was a solid day. We unloaded close in practice. Makes the weekend easier. In our Forciga Ford Dark Horse Mustang's really fast. So, we made it to the second round. Obviously, to have a shot at the pole is really cool. We need to make the right adjustments. We need to be prepared when we get to these moments, even if it doesn't happen very, very often. So, again, just, we got a really fast Ford Mustang, and just really proud of the men and women at Front Row Motorsports for bringing these type of race cars every week.
Thanks, Todd.
Front Row, one of 6 different teams represented in the top 10 in qualifying, including 2311, Trackhouse, Hendrick, Gibbs, and Penske.
Farsiga. Is that how you saw that being pronounced, Clint?
I like it. Is that what you thought?
Nope.
Well, the X is always a question mark, how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
It's
it would have been way more fun if Clint would have tried to say it first.
Pretty different. Well, who do you like?
Well, I think for me, the question I have right now is how fast do you need to run? And what that means is as far as how hard you drive the car. I hear Bubba Wallace talk about...
Oh, no, I'm stopping you right now. You just said do not drive the car any harder.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to Bubba Wallace, and I'm going to tell him, don't drive it any harder. Because you want to have the same lift points, do the exact same things, and try to repeat your time from the first round, and it's still probably going to be slower.
Okay, let's go down the list. What if you're Kyle Larson? Do you drive it any harder?
No. I drive it the exact same because I think there's
going to be Alex Bowman?
I think there's going to be a lot of guys that try to drive it harder and mess up their lap. So
you're right. Spot on.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part about, okay, all right, crew chief, you want me to go faster? Well, I'm going to drive it harder.
Right, I'm
probably going to pay the price.
Bowman,
yeah, this is all about discipline right here and not trying to get too much. Just go out and try to do the exact same thing you did in the first round.
All right, now Group A was significantly slower than Group B. Joey Logano was fastest in Group A. That lap would have been 8th overall of the 10. Alex Bowman was slowest in Group A. We run all 5 Group A cars, then we move to Group B, so everybody has roughly, as close as we can get, the same amount of cool-down time after their first round lap.
Yeah, and I think Group A is... I think they're going to have a little bit of an advantage, but you never can tell who's got the best car. Alex Bowman's up against the wall.
Now that was a 52. He ran a 42 in round 1.
Just trying to arc it a little bit further, getting into the corner and actually hit the wall.
Well, that's real easy to do going down the front straightaway at Richmond, and once you touch it, it sucks it in because it's curved.
Yeah, he got close to the wall. He touched the wall.
Trying to get arced out a little bit too far. It touched the rear, put the front back into it, bounce off of it a couple times. Just like you said, suck him in.
Second lap was within 1/1000th of a second, but not faster. So here's Ross Chastain, who ran a 22:40 in round 1.
And we heard Ross talk earlier about waiting a little bit to go out and practice and how his car needed to pick up some speed. Well, he found a whole bunch of speed going into the first round of qualifying. Put himself in this second round.
Not at all what he was looking for. A lot slower, but got a lot better on this first time. Maybe he threw that first lap out the window, Kevin. Prepared, knowing it was going to be this second lap. Got back to the gasket. Can he stay with it?
A good pickup to a 48. That's within 8/100ths of what he ran in round
right
1.
Now on the pole. Who's next?
Kyle Larson.
It's Jamie's
with a 35
boy.
in round 1.
Larson.
That was always the hardest part for me when I qualified here, is trying to determine, was it going to be my first lap or second lap? And sometimes it was just different, and there wasn't any rhyme or reason why.
Yeah, it's just all about, it's such a detailed racetrack. It's all about hitting your marks and not making mistakes and being able to get off of that brake as soon as you can and have the car rotate to be able to get back in the throttle and stay in the throttle in qualifying.
And how the tires come in are part of that equation. I mean, it's just sometimes it felt like, well, they just came in faster the first lap than the second lap.
So a 46, that's 11/100ths off of what he ran in round 1, and he equals that.
So
now 43
on the pole
picks it up a couple of hundredths.
so far.
And that's what we were talking about, Clint, is how fast do you go, knowing that it's probably going to be slower, but how much slower? See that damage on Alex Bowman's car.
Ty Gibbs with a 22:35 in round 1. Now, so far, the best of the drivers that qualified have fallen off 8/100ths.
Eric Church's boy.
Again, all these cars were from that Group A, and I just think the track was a little bit different for all these teams. I feel like the pole setter is going to come from the Group B.
Ooh, Gibbs with a 79. Not the lap he wanted.
Yeah, that first lap definitely seems to be worse. A lot worse than the second lap in this round.
Tires have set quite a while for these teams in this Group A. This is a long turnover period for those tires, long cycle. And that's exactly what they do. They'll go through a cycle as they cool off, heat up and cool down. Usually, what's that cycle mean? Typically
Ty Gibbs fourth.
So that's a 24/100ths fall off from round 1 for Ty Gibbs, the worst we've seen in Group A. Here's Joey Logano. A 33 in the first round is what he's trying to get close to.
Thank you, Dylan. Dylan Davis, thank you so much.
Well, we see another first lap that's way off.
Yeah, that first lap was half a second off what he ran
What's
in
up
the
with
first
these
round.
Fords, stupid Reaver? Thought for sure Logano would be on the pole.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about with the Fords. Can they go out and fire off in the second round? That was always the part that I struggled with here, was the Fords will fire off great on sticker tires, but when they get those scuffed tires and have to go back out for the second time, the cars just get way tighter.
Joey Logano with even more of a fall off. Kyle Larson is atop the board after round 2, Group A.
All right, so Kyle Larson, Chastain, Bowman, Ty Gibbs, and then Joey Logano. Next 5 coming up: Austin Cindric, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, Todd Gilliland are your last 5 to go for the poll. If you guys are just coming in, make sure you're hitting that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes. Let's see where we're at. There we go. Thank you guys for getting us over 100 likes. We appreciate you so much for getting us another 100 like stream. And also, make sure you're hitting that subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,710 on the subscribes. And coming up in your pin message above you in the chat, is the link for today's Xfinity race. Make sure you go over there and like that stream as well, and give me about an hour break, 45-minute break, to refresh all this and get it looking good for you guys. And then we will be bringing you the live audio of the race for the Xfinity race with the leaderboard, just like this. The audio in here. Our chat's going to be awesome. We're going to have the emojis for you members. We'll change those up as well. And then also we'll have the mini games and all that good stuff too. So in-car cameras, probably maybe 2 or 3 normally for the Xfinity race. So we'll have those as well. So looking forward to spending the afternoon with you guys. And then I'm going to take the night off. It's my wife's birthday, Spain. Happy birthday to Spain. And we're going to have some fun. Tomorrow, Easter Sunday, we're going to kick it off in the afternoon with Tennessee versus Purdue, the semifinal game to go to the Final Four. Tennessee versus Purdue, a rematch of the Maui Classic back when the season started. And then we're going to take a couple hours off after that, and we're going to be bringing you the live coverage of the Toyota Owners 400, which will be at around 5:30 Central. So. And that stream's not up yet, but it will be up later on today. So thank you guys so much, everybody. Only 12 you need to keep it down. Y'all rock, CeeLo, Paige. Thank y'all. Thanks, Richard. Sure miss Harvick already. What did Darius say here? I'm your upstairs neighbor. Tried to. Okay. Happy birthday, Spain. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate you. Oh, we're back at audio again. They tricked me.
One, and it looks like from what we just saw in Group A, that's going to be hard to back up.
True.
Yeah, we also learned during the break that we almost lost control of this whole broadcast, and Clint does nothing to listen to myself or his wife, so.
It was close.
Yeah.
You just did that to me.
Yeah, I know Laura's listening.
This is fantastic. Fantastic news. Come on, Truex. Bail me out here.
Nope. Truex doesn't have it.
Diamond and arc the corner a little bit, maybe. Ooh.
There's that crown that we talk about sliding over the top of, and
Truex
I know you said that this was going to be the group, but this is going to be a tough task for Group B with the amount of cool-off time compared to Group A for their tires.
A 57.
Thank you, stupid Roofer. Appreciate that. What's
on
up,
the first
TJ?
lap for Truex, and that is a fall off of 3.5 tenths from the first round.
Well, let me tell you something. It isn't because the tire fall off. I believe it's because of the sun coming out. I think this track is heating up and very quickly right now. Sun's finally burning through the clouds. Yep. It's going to make this track hot and slick.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Larson pointing skyward as the sun popped through here. Todd Gilliland, 22.54. He ran a 20 in the first round, so that's the same fall off as Truex.
There's 2 cars in a row sliding off the 2. It's big time loose. It's going to be a great top 10 start, nonetheless, for Gilliland.
Todd Gilliland places 4th.
You can just tell the sun shining on the race cars.
Austin
It's
Cindric.
for sure evident in a big way. It's going to change this racetrack.
Austin Cindric, 22.18 in round 1.
Way up out of the groove.
Yeah, you saw his car. There's a bump going into turn 1 that goes all the way across the racetrack, and as he crossed that, he had to correct to the right.
Cars just don't seem to have near the grip in them they did the last time they were in them.
And that's pretty normal here from the first round to the second round. You know it's going to slow down. You just don't know how much.
22.66 for Cindric. That's a fall off of almost half a second.
That's all it takes. You get 2 chances. We don't need any of that. We're watching racing, man. We're just here to
Kyle
watch.
Larson liking what he sees right now. He's hoping that sun stays shining bright on the racetrack.
Down to Bubba Wallace and Chase Elliott to challenge Kyle Larson for the pole.
And Bubba did a great job of hugging that yellow line in 1 and 2. This is by far the closest we've seen anybody to Kyle Larson off of 2. Can he hold suit down in 3 and 4? Rotates back to the throttle. I think he's going to pay the price. Pointed the wrong direction up off.
So close.
Had to lift at the wall.
Bubba, uh-oh. Can Bubba be on the pole here?
I really like how disciplined he is, though. He's taking what he can get out of the car, putting that car right against the outside line through 1 and 2.
Parked a little more in 3 and 4, trying to get it down. Got back to the throttle, still pointed the wrong direction on the exit.
Needs 2 1,000s to move up a row, and he gets it with a 53.
Down to his teammate.
Still on the
Wallace
pole.
is 4th, and now it is Larson
Comes
and
Chase.
Elliott
Let me see those 9s, y'all.
for the pole. 22:43 is the time to beat. If Chase Elliott falls off 3/10 from round 1, he'll be right there with Larson.
Great
within
exit.
thousands.
Yeah, let the car roll a little bit. It was a little slower to the gas, but when he went to it, he went back wide open. He's ahead of him right here, folks. Going to be close. Whoo, barely.
2 1,000.
Oh,
Still got a lap.
Chase. They're close.
Same thing on exit. Got back to the gas. Very affirmative. Back in the lead down the backstretch.
Chase
Parked
has
it
him
in
by a
good in the
bumper.
3.
Oh, he touched the apron right there.
It's going to pay
might
the
hurt
price, too, because of it.
Yep.
And that is the difference.
Oh.
The second lap is slower by 8 100ths, and Kyle Larson has won his 17th career pole and his first of the season. Regan?
Well, Mike, that's right. First pole of the season for Kyle Larson as he gets congrats from the team. Kyle, you got everything right in that second round of qualifying. How much does this set your day up to be good for tomorrow now?
Definitely helps for sure. I think the #1 pit stall here means a lot. So, yeah, happy to do that. Happy to be in Group A for sure. And then the sun coming out a little bit there helps also. So, yeah, Chase got real close there, so I was a bit nervous. But, yeah, just awesome day for Hendrick Motorsports, HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet, everybody involved. Good to get another pole. So we'll see if it translates to tomorrow's race.
Thanks, Kyle.
By 2 1,000ths of a second, Kyle Larson beats teammate Chase Elliott. It's an all Chevy, all Hendrick front row for tomorrow night.
Well, that was good to see Group A succeed right there because that will carry over through the rest of the day. Hendrick front row.
My guy got on the apron a little bit. I had you beat. Group B.
All right, race day coming up next on FS1, and then the Toyota Owners 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Kyle Larson, 17th career pole, first of the year, and his first since the Bristol Dirt Race last year.
A city etched deep in the heart of history.
All right, congratulations to Kyle Larson on the pole. Appreciate y'all hanging out here today. Thanks for getting us over 100 likes and all the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much. What will you do for money? Question says. All right, so we'll see you here in about 45 minutes for the Xfinity race, and we'll call it a day. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers, all the new members that we've had this weekend, and thank you, Karen Wilcox, Dylan Davis, and Traveling Seagull, and Pie Wolf, and John Slaughter. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us and subscribing. So we'll see you in about 45 minutes. Go over there to the pin message at the top there, and we'll see you here in about 45 minutes for the Xfinity race, the Toyota Care 250. Back at it. All right. Thanks to Spain. Happy birthday, baby. Love ya. And I want to thank my mods for taking care of the riffraff sometimes that come in here trying to think they're all that. And I want to thank my members for giving your hard-earned money, and thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you in about 45 minutes. Thank you all. We'll see you in a bit. Bye, peace.